Failure is not the end, but many people treat it like it is. One mistake, one setback, one rejection, one delay, and suddenly they start believing the worst about themselves. They begin to think maybe they are not good enough. Maybe they are not talented enough. Maybe they are too late. Maybe success was never meant for them. But failure does not mean your story is over. Failure means something did not work. That is different. And that difference matters. Because when you think failure means you are the problem, you start attacking your worth. But when you understand that failure is simply part of the process, you begin to see it differently. Failure is not always punishment. Sometimes it is instruction. Sometimes it is redirection. Sometimes it is preparation. And sometimes it is the very thing that builds the strength, discipline, wisdom, and maturity your future success will require. Most people admire successful people for their results, but they forget to respect the failures that came before those results. Every successful person has failed. They failed privately. They failed painfully. They failed in moments where nobody was clapping for them. They had ideas that did not work, plans that fell apart, days where they doubted themselves, days where they wanted to walk away. But what made the difference was not the fact that they never failed. It was the fact that they did not allow failure to become their identity. That is where many people get stuck. They fail once, and instead of saying, "That attempt failed," they say, "I am a failure." That is dangerous, because the moment you turn an event into an identity, you begin to live under it, and you were never meant to do that. A setback is not your identity. A rejection is not your identity. A delay is not your identity. A hard season is not your identity. You are still becoming. You are still learning. You are still building. You are still growing. And sometimes growth does not look like winning. Sometimes growth looks like learning how to recover. That is why failure must be handled with wisdom. When failure happens, do not just sit in pain. Do not just replay the disappointment over and over. Pause and ask better questions. What is this teaching me? What needs to improve? What can I do differently next time? What habit, mindset, or strategy needs to change? These questions shift your focus from shame to growth. Because the goal is not to pretend failure does not hurt. It hurts. It is frustrating. It can be embarrassing. It can make you question yourself. It can make you feel behind. But pain is not proof that you should quit. Sometimes pain is proof that you care deeply. And that is exactly why you must not waste the lesson. Failure becomes powerful when you let it refine you. Maybe the failure taught you patience. Maybe it taught you discipline. Maybe it exposed a weak area you need to strengthen. Maybe it revealed that you were depending too much on motivation and not enough on consistency. Maybe it showed you that your plan needs structure. Maybe it taught you to pray more, think more clearly, and move more wisely. That is why failure is not the end. Because as long as you are willing to learn, adjust, and keep going, failure is still working for you. It may not feel good, but it can still produce something good. And this is where resilience is built. Not when everything is easy. Not when everything is working. Not when life is comfortable. Resilience is built when life hits you, but you choose not to stay down. When you choose to get back up. When you choose to try again. when you choose to return to the work even after disappointment. That is strength. Real strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it looks like a person sitting alone, rewriting the plan. Sometimes it looks like studying again after a bad result. Sometimes it looks like rebuilding after rejection. Sometimes it looks like continuing to show up when nobody sees the effort. That is the kind of strength that changes lives. And the truth is, many breakthroughs are born in the seasons after failure. Because failure humbles you. It teaches you. It slows you down enough to reflect. It forces you to become more intentional. It can make you wiser, sharper, and more prepared than you were before. So if you are in a season where something did not work, hear this clearly. You are not finished. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. And you are not broken beyond repair. This is not the end of your story. This is a chapter. A hard one, yes. A painful one, maybe. But not the final one. Do not let one moment decide your whole future. Do not let one failure silence your potential. Do not let one setback convince you to abandon the person you are becoming. Take the lesson, keep the wisdom, leave the shame, and move forward. Try again, but this time with more understanding. Try again, but this time with more patience. Try again, but this time with more discipline. Try again, but this time knowing that failure did not come to bury you, it came to build you. Because sometimes the version of you that can truly handle success is only formed after failure breaks your pride, strengthens your mindset, and teaches you how to endure. So stand up, breathe, learn the lesson, fix what needs fixing, pray if you need to, refocus if you need to, restart if you need to. But do not quit on your future because of one painful season. Failure is not the end. It is the place where many people stop, but it can also be the place where you become stronger, wiser, and more ready for what comes next. Keep going. Your story is still being written.
At the 1% Founder, subscribe for more and start growing.